Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So the question in this video is, what moral responsibility does a woman have to her male friends? I'm talking about women who put men in the friend zone as backups. They know these men have romantic interest in them, but they don't want these men. Yet they still keep them around because they get a lot of benefits from these men. They actually never had the conversation about whether or not they're going to be romantic. It sort of stays ambiguous and the relationship is quite one-sided. So the women get a lot of benefits, but the men, not so much. So the first question to ask here is it reasonable to blame the women in this scenario? Or the fact that the man never made his intention clear, does he bear all the responsibility? I think the responsibility falls on both, but more so on the man. So let's talk about the man's responsibility first. If you decided to be a friend before proceeding to a romantic partner, and that's the strategy you're going with, if for some reason it doesn't work out, since you made a decision, it's only fair that you bear all the responsibility and the consequences. Now, there are men who try to make things sexual, but they get rejected, and they have to settle for the friend zone. And there are men who don't even have the confidence to even try. This usually stems from early experiences, often from teenage years, when they try to approach girls and get rejected. If your self-esteem is already low from other factors and then you experience brutal rejections from women, which can happen, women can be cruel, then what can happen is an internalization of the belief that you're not worthy as a sexual partner. So moving forward, you never want to declare your sexual interest because you don't want to experience that rejection ever again. If you've been in this situation, I feel for you. But regardless of what happened, if you spend 6 months, a year, 2 years being friends with a woman, you never made your intention clear because you want to play the long game. If she still rejects you at the end and you wasted all that time, well, then you have to accept the consequences for your action. Now, I would go as far as saying that if you are interested in her romantically, but you keep your feelings secret from her, in a way, you're trying to manipulate the situation because you're trying to form a connection with this woman based on false pretenses. You might say to her,
"Oh, I love being friends with you. I love our relationship the way it is."
When in reality, you don't feel that way. You want something more. Do you see how this could be a form of lying, right? Now, I'm not shaming you for it. I think most guys have done it at least once in their lives. But hopefully you understand it and you learn from it. So if you are interested in a woman, it is your responsibility to make your intention clear. If you don't and things don't work out, then you have no one else to blame but yourself. Now, let's talk about the woman's responsibility. Most of the time, you will hear the justification that just because the man doesn't make his intention clear, even though on some level, she knew that he has romantic interest in her, but he never actually said anything. And because of that, she bears no responsibility. No. That is way too simplistic. It takes two to tangle. She's not innocent in this situation because she benefits greatly from this arrangement. And we know that very often women would even lead men on. They enjoy having men waiting in the background, and in order to maintain this dynamic, they would give those men just enough to keep their interest.
I asked her out and she rejected me, but she still texts me all the time. She wouldn't do that if she had no interest in me, right?
Yes, she would.
I see this girl at work and she's always flirting with me, but she never want to hang out outside of work. Still, all of that flirting means that she's interested in me, right?
Wrong, she's not interested.
One of my female friends, she always opens up to me about her trauma, her childhood, and what she's been through. She wouldn't share with me all that personal stuff unless she wants something more, right?
Wrong. Understand something. If they were to completely shut down all contact with you, you would know that there's no possibility for a romantic connection and you would just move on to someone else. So what a woman will do is that she'll have a friendship with you, but occasionally she'll be a little bit more flirtatious. She'll share a little bit more than normal, just to keep you on edge. So you'll think that there's still a possibility for something romantic. If you don't think women do this, then you've been living under a rock. This is entirely for her best interest. Women want to keep men around because it gives them a sense of security. While she's maintaining this dynamic, she can just go off and explore some other relationships with other guys. Maybe they're a little more dangerous or risky, but she can safely explore those options because she knows that she has somebody waiting in the background in case things don't work out with those guys. On top of that, she's also getting her emotional needs met. For example, let's say she's dating a guy who is somewhat of a player. He has status and good looks, but he's emotionally unavailable. So while she's dating that guy, she can go to one of her male friends and dump all of her emotional trauma on him. Once she's done with him, she can go back and have fun with the player guy. So she's getting both her physical and emotional needs met, but they're just from different guys. And it's very easy for men to fall into this trap because they're thinking,
why else would she keep me around? Why is she always nice to me? Why does she come to me out of all people as a shoulder to cry on when her boyfriend is being an asshole? The reason why she's doing all of this is because she must like me.
If this is you, snap out of it. You're delusional. Because you want to be with her so badly, you're seeing all of her behavior as though she also wants to be with you. But the truth is, you're seeing a projection of your fantasy. In reality, you are nobody. She's just using you to dump all of her emotional baggage. Here's another reason. Women keep men around because they enjoy the attention and the self-esteem boost. Every time she's feeling down, she can always hit up the guy whom she knows has a crush on her and be like,
"Oh, I'm just having a really bad day. I don't feel good about myself. I don't know what to do."
and the guy's like,
Oh no, you're amazing. You're the most beautiful and special girl in the world. What do you need? I'll come cheer you up.
you see, it feels good to her to keep the guy around. He makes her feel validated and desirable. She likes the self-esteem boost and she's not gonna give that up. In addition to that, what if she needs something fixed around the house? Maybe she needs a ride somewhere, or maybe she needs to pay her bills. She can always call these men, flirt with them a little bit, and then ask them for a favor. There are women who will happily exploit you. They will lead you on for months or even years, because as long as it benefits them, they don't care what happens to you. Now, another justification that you often hear from women is that,
"Oh, I have no idea that he likes me that way. This whole time, I thought we're just friends. I have no idea."
cut the bullshit. You're not stupid. You're not naive. Generally speaking, women are much more in tune to social cues and body language than men. Men are very logical. A lot of our social interactions are hierarchical, and sometimes we don't pick up on the subtleties of emotions. Whereas women are usually pretty good at that. They are pretty good at picking up on other people's motives. And this is especially true when it comes to sexual interest. Beautiful women, or even average women, get hit on so often that over the years, ever since they were little until they become adults, they have a lot of practice dealing with male desire. They know when a man is interested in them. And you can even argue that from an evolutionary perspective, women needed to be very attuned to male emotions.
What if his affection for me is too much? What if he tries to rape me or assault me?
I know it's horrible to talk about, but historically speaking, women do have good reason to be concerned about when men show a lot of sexual interest in them. It can actually be dangerous. The point I'm trying to make is that women have very finely attuned instincts to pick up on men's sexual interest. It would be very rare for a man to declare his interest, and it took her completely by surprise. It does happen, but it's rare. They can usually pick it up within 30 seconds into the interaction. So again, this idea that, oh, I thought we were just friends, I have no idea that he's interested in me, I don't buy it. You're a woman, you know when men are into you. It just happens to be a convenient excuse for you to be friends with these guys because you get to enjoy the benefits from this arrangement. From a moral perspective, if you care about the guy, then you do what's best for him. This is clearly a one-sided relationship. You receive a lot of benefits while the guy is getting fucked up. It is horrible for his self-esteem. Every time he's there for you emotionally, but you don't reciprocate the way he wants you to, his self-esteem continues to plummet. Because he's gonna think that if he was a higher value guy, then he wouldn't have to settle for such a shitty arrangement. The reason why he's tolerating this arrangement is because he feels like he doesn't deserve any better. He's just a low value guy and you're so much better than him. You see, this relationship is not good for his self-esteem. So if you genuinely care about the guy, you should be proactive and actually push to have the conversation.
"Hey, I know we have been friends for a little while, but can we just talk about what's going on? I feel like I'm picking up a vibe that you want something more than just friends. Is that something you want to tell me? Are you hoping for something romantic? Because I hate to feel like we're having this relationship based on false pretenses."
I think that conversation is worth having, and I don't think that's unreasonable. But again, the reason why I think women don't want to have this conversation is not because they're ignorant, but because they want to enjoy the benefits. They're doing what's best for themselves. So just to recap, while I think the majority of the responsibility falls on the men, women are also responsible for this arrangement. So if you're a woman and you want a genuine friendship with a guy, I believe that you have a moral obligation to do what's best for him as well, not just for yourself. Now, I am fully aware that me, a man, is telling women to take responsibility for their actions. This will never happen. It's like barking at the moon. What I said in this video is gonna go in one ear and out the other. And that's okay. At least the men are listening. So if you are a man watching, do not expect women to take responsibility for their actions. If you're waiting for her to take the initiative and tell you that you have no chance with her romantically, you'll be waiting until the day you die. If you like this video, I highly recommend you check out my previous video. I talk about the consequences of having really high standards for the women you date. Till next time, stay curious.